Today we're going to be talking about 4 different hurdles that you're going to be going through as you study English. So everyone has probably been studying English for many, many years now. For everyone living in Japan, you have about 6 years under your belt of English learning. That's a good foundation about learning about this is a pen or I'm fine and you kind of speech and lessons throughout your school years. But if you're watching our show, you probably have a good level of understanding and a good interest to continue pushing yourself to learn English. Me and Adam here to tell you today that it's not always and only about how much grammar you know and how many vocab words you know and how many phrases you know that will prepare you or take you to the next step of English.
There's always things that can get you beyond where your level is at right now, and experience has a big role in this learning and progression in your English study, your English ability, your English progress. So we're going to talk about that.
And the first hurdle that you will all come face to face with is making mistakes. Of course, this will happen to everyone. When you are a baby and you're first learning how to walk, you fall a lot. But you don't stop, do you? You continue to push forward and you continue to try to stand as a little baby because you see everyone else walking around on 2 legs, having a good time, running around, jumping, skipping. It seems like it's so much easier to get around rather than crawling, so you decide to challenge yourself to walk. Same goes with English, everybody. When you're looking at other people or hearing other people who speak English, that can be a motivation to say, oh, wow, I want to work hard to get to that level. But within that working hard, you're going to make a lot of mistakes.
The thing with mistakes is that when you are speaking and you have learned, you have these 6 years of English foundation, you learn a lot of the rules and a lot of the things you should and you shouldn't do. But in the real conversation, those things might not even happen, which causes you to feel like you cannot make a mistake, you can't speak. So why is mistakes so bad to do? They're not actually. If you don't make mistakes, then there's no way for you to learn because you don't know where you have to learn or what you have to do to improve. So making mistakes is going to help you.
A lot of kids are learning. So we have questions about things and you don't always get 100点満点 hanamaru on your tests and on your worksheets at school. But it's important to embrace those mistakes and not be shy and scared from them. Example, if someone has a question at the end of a lecture and the teacher asks, is there any questions? Is there something you didn't understand? Majority of the times, nobody will raise their hand to say, I have a question.
Right.
Because that means, oh, there's a mistake. You couldn't catch, you couldn't follow along. So then creating a mindset where you have to be perfect all the time. So if you're not going to be perfect and you don't know 100% this is the right way to do it, then you just say, I'm not going to do anything at all and sit back. That's not going to help you progress and move up.
I can also see it in another way, and this might get to our second point, is that some people are afraid of making mistakes because they're too shy to make mistakes. They're too shy to speak out. Even if they think they have the right answer or they know they have the right answer, but they feel kind of self-doubt in themselves, they don't want to say the answer in case it's a mistake. So the second point,
you will find yourself doubting your confidence, doubting yourself. You will have no confidence. And that's happened to everyone learning. Even for me personally, when I was studying Japanese, I felt like I didn't have the confidence. My brain was telling me I don't have the confidence to go out and speak. Therefore, I didn't want to speak. So that confidence level is so low. And I feel anyone who's studying a language will feel this at some point. It could be early on, maybe at the very beginning of your language learning or midway, or it could be a constant battle that you have with yourself.
Yeah. And it could be even amplified by people around. So it could be made bigger than it actually is if somebody who has been speaking longer than you or studying longer than you has a higher English skill, and you're looking at them and you're like, oh, wow, he's so good. I'm not that good. I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to sit here and listen. I just nod my head.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Just be more confident in yourself. Just have that confidence to say, regardless of whether or not it's right or wrong, I'm going to speak. I'm going to say what I have to say. I'm not going to waste time sitting here thinking about whether or not this thing in my head is right or wrong. Because regardless, it's out there. We can check, we can learn, we can grow.
Perfect segue to our third point, everyone. When you're studying English, you're going to get to a point where you are comparing yourself to others. This is something that you don't want to do. It's just going to make you feel bad about yourself and your progress. But, let me tell you right now, everyone is always looking at others, being like, oh, Ina, like, wow, they speak so smooth and with confidence. Putting those words in your mind, for some people can help boost your motivation, but I think for the majority, it knocks you down. It gives you a little sting. You look at yourself and you say, oh, I'm not that good. And that's the worst thing to say.
Even more, like you look at maybe even your friends and you say the same thing, like, hazukashi, eigo hazukashi, hanasu no ga hazukashi. Like I'm so nervous to speak just because my friends are watching, or just because somebody's looking at me. I don't want to look not intelligent. I don't want to look like a fool.
Don't worry about if other people have studied for longer than you or have a higher test than you, because we all learn on our own path.
And we all start from zero and work our way up. So wherever you are in your learning ladder, like as long as you keep moving forward, then you're just going to get better. That's it.
The last one that we have listed as a hurdle for you who is studying English is not enjoying your English conversation. So as everyone is studying, I'm sure, again, you've gone through the routine of, okay, here's the script. You are A-san and you will be B-san, and you have to do this introduction, or the role play of going to the supermarket and asking for a bargain. It's a really basic foundation that once you get the hang of, I want to tell you, well, don't get stuck in that, because it might feel like, oh, I'm doing good. Or if you're someone who's been practicing all that and it's like, oh, this is boring. It's all the same stuff. It's always introduction. It's always talking about my hobby. It's always asking, oh, where are you from and stuff. It can become very bland and boring if you stick in that cycle or circle of conversation.
And especially boring if you're in a conversation that you're not interested in, or you're getting questions asked to you that you're not really interested in answering. Leads to like a dull conversation. It leads to a short conversation. You're going to be in a position where you kind of want to leave the conversation, but it's going to benefit you because many people have a limited amount of time to speak English. So how can we solve this problem?
You can aim your conversation environment to an environment that you enjoy. Say a hobby that you have.
Yeah.
This is a topic that me and Adam have talked about in the past, and it is something that has personally helped our Japanese skills level up. For me, it was going out to concerts, talking to people there, and a big one was playing kendama and finding a community around me that, of course, I'm in Japan, so everyone is Japanese, but hey, we had the connection, the quick bond of we both enjoy kendama a lot.
For me, it was dance. I would go out, not even having anybody to go with sometimes, just by myself, and you meet people. They like the same music. We talked about music. We talked about dance. We talked about dancers. And then from then on, it was more like we talked about different things. We talked about life. We talked about Canada. We talked about their experiences going in different countries and meeting different people, and all the things around what we started with was the hobby. So starting with the hobby can lead to conversations with people that you now are friends with and you enjoy speaking with and spending time with.
And this is something that a lot of people here in Japan, I have the question of how do I make Western friends? How do I make foreign friends that I can speak and just use my English that I've been studying that I love so much. And it's not about focusing on the English. That should be the secondary thing, everyone. Go out there and think about it as, how would you make friends normally in Japan with other Japanese people? You wouldn't just find someone on the street or something. You maybe would go to a lecture or a meetup about like photography if you're into that. And there you would connect and make friends. So it's the same kind of idea that I want everyone to try and test out. You know, we have social media now, SNS, as we say in Japan, that you can use hashtags and look for people and look for events that are happening. So I encourage you, be safe while you do that, but check those meetups and those get-togethers out to connect with people. Start at the level of hobbies, and that will turn into a more fruitful, good relationship that can continue on. And hey, hopefully it could be one where you can use your English. So there it is, everyone. 4 hurdles that you will face when you are studying English, no matter where you are in your studies. If this is a hurdle that you're still battling, or if this is a hurdle that you have overcome already, let us know in the comments down below. Like the video and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this talk, me and Adam, and our opinions on these things.
We'll see you on the next step.